We gather tonight to honor the life of this young child. She was a 6th grade student at Bryant Elementary School. On September 25th, her asthma proved to be more than her young lungs could manage.
I don't know how many more of these gentlemen have to die. I don't know how many more broken hearts. I don't know when the city of Philadelphia will stop and think what these men deserve.
El no tener una licencia es como decir que tú no existes, no eres nadie, y afecta demasiado porque teníamos que manejar para el trabajo.
This recommendation and the swiftness of the announcement raises the question as to how seriously has the SRC considered the consequences of such a rushed decision to close this school. How much thought has been given to the disruptive and negative effects this closing will have on our children and our community?
I know it's about the money, but the safety and the education of us is important too. It seems like you're not doing it for us. It's about the money once you narrow it down.
Because we stood by and did what the city needed for several years without a contract, without a raise, with everything going up, with us now paying into our health care. Some of us have college students, some of us are homeowners, some of us are in jeopardy of losing homes, but we still stand. We still come to work every day to do the job that the cities need.
It's unprecedented to go 5 years. There's no other city in the country that goes 5 years without getting to the negotiating table.
And what is the message we send our young people when our elected leaders say there's not enough funding for our schools? Meanwhile, our biggest and richest corporations get tax breaks and subsidies. Corporate reform of our public schools is not the answer. Corporate reform does not put our most vulnerable students first. We need a governor who understands this.
A lot of the people undoing public ed in the city are right here in our city. They're in City Hall, they're in 440, and I'll say it to the mayor, you have undone and abandoned the children of this city by selling off public education.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce the mayor of the city of Philadelphia.
Concerns. I have nothing but the deepest respect for the thousands of public employees who work on behalf of 1.5 million Philadelphians. You want a fair contract, and so do I. As a city, we must come together.
If we don't educate the children, who's going to be the firefighters, the police officers, the doctors? You always gauge a society by how they treat their children and their educational system. What does that say about our society? It doesn't really say much.
We give you thanks for those that are committing themselves to this work today, that are denying themselves food and nutrition for the sake of our children. We pray, God, that you would just keep them in this moment and hour, keep them in the days and the hours, and prayerfully, God, it won't turn into weeks, that we find that funding has come, jobs have been restored, and people are preparing to go back to work in September.
We have come under a serious attack, but at the same time, that attack has clarified the lines. It's clarified who our allies are and who our adversaries are.
We feel strength in recognizing that tonight we're actually not alone at all, that we're here with all of you and that we're struggling together on this very long and deep trajectory of moving history.
Not just enough to be angry. You need to have a strategy and you need to have an approach.
We need to organize. Everybody have to come together. When we group, we have a power. One person, no power.
I don't want to sit back and watch this go on. We wanted to, fight.
My people, yeah, we got a story, yeah.
Oh, wow, this is student territory.
Pennsylvania, but there's a lot about what's happening to people in our state that I don't love. I don't want to live in a state where the richest 20% of the population earn 7 times as much as the poorest 20%. I want to live in a state where healthcare is a human right. I want to live in a state that puts people first.
Nosotros ahorita estamos en el proceso de creación de una asociación de trabajadores de Filadelfia. Estamos queriendo aglutinar a la mayoría de los trabajadores que estamos en esta situación para poder mejorar las condiciones de trabajo de muchas personas.
We are forming a union so that we can have a real voice at our school. Oftentimes decisions get made that we don't have input in, and I think that in order for our school to be successful, we have to be a part of those decisions.
We formed a group and we decided, since we don't have the proper material and the proper funding, that we're going to hold all of our meetings in front of Tom Corbett's office.
It's students that's actually out here like me that really care about what's going on in our education system.
And we'll continue this fight until every worker knows that they are safe, knows that they will go home to their family at the end of the day. And until every taxi worker knows that if something does happen to them, they'll be covered just like every other worker under workers' comp in this state. It's the right thing to do, it's the fair thing to do, and it's the time to do it.
Of course we want beautiful housing. Of course we want a clean neighborhood. Of course we want to be able to walk up and down the streets without violence. But that does not mean we want to be pushed out.
How dare you cut the teachers down and cut the counselors down and cut the nurses down, put more students in a class and expect everyone to flourish. And I think the truth of the matter is you didn't care if we flourished. I don't know what makes us so unworthy of the basic services, but I'm here to tell you that we need to demand it.
No debería de existir miedo, no debería de existir desigualdad, todos somos iguales y deberíamos de luchar por ese pedacito de ayuda que nosotros deberíamos de tener.
Through our stories, we can see each other more clearly and recognize that we are the same in more ways than not.
I pray that our Father in this city of brotherly love will look down, soften hearts, show compassion, break hearts that are made of stone and ignorance.
Through our stories, we can understand our common enemy of injustice and inequality, and we can come to believe deep down that more is possible.
This day is just the beginning of our fight. Today is a day we will never forget, because we are not just going to leave a mark in history, but we are also going to leave a path to a better future.
The universe is tending and trending toward justice. And justice is the highest form of love. You can't love without justice.